Okay, YouTube, back in one more time for tonight. I have a little bit more for us tonight, okay? And this has to do with really the second book that's inside of the Bible, the King James Bible, or in general, Bibles are, Bibles in general, I should say. And the second book is called Exodus. When I went over to Tanzania, actually, an Indian people people from India owned a place called Exolush. All right, 54 on the clock, 55 on the clock. And Exolush served uh, Yan, you know, Yandu, Yan. You know how we say Yankee Doodle Dandy, okay, Yan. And Yan actually served was is actually in conjunction or assimilated with the word man or people in a general sense. Okay, that's just one thing right there. But I'm saying this right here because uh, as the second book is called Exodus in the English, it is called Shemot in in the Hebrew. Okay, Shemot, Shem. Okay, Shem is Noah's son. Okay, son of Noah. Shem means rocket ship. Shem means name. Okay, so Shemot is the plural for that, and it means names. And inside of the, so that's like a no-brainer right there for me. Why? Because we have the beginning. In the beginning, Genesis, Bereshit. Okay, in the beginning. The second book is called Shemot, meaning names. So that's got to be pretty fucking important. If the first book says in the beginning, names, then the third book is called Viekra. Okay, Viekra. Vie, it says, and I call. But if we break it down, Viet, okay, Vi, that means like six in Roman. Kra is the Kenya Revenue Authority. Vikra, okay? And that's the middle book. That's Leviticus, okay? Next book is called Bimidbar. Bimidbar has the word. The B actually means house or temple. Midbar is meaning desert, in the desert. The word itself means in the desert, but when you break it down, you have the word debar inside there again, which means word, and actually means light also inside of there within that word, because light in the well in 11:14 of Corinthians, okay, where it says Satan appears as an angel of light, okay, that word is actually Karen, which means light and power, like horn and so forth, right? And Karen also was one of Job's daughters, okay, after she was supposedly beautiful and so forth and everything. Matter of fact, that was my ex-wife and her mother's name, Anna Karina, and her name was Karen Anna. Okay, and Anna Karina is a Leo Tolstoy book with Russia. And how I knew that, because when I was over in Germany, we had a very famous painter inside of my Sprachschule, inside of my German class, and he actually painted. He wanted to paint Anne or Anne and myself and children and everything. And we actually did, but we didn't have much money to buy it and everything. But he was a very famous painter. And at the time, when I was inside of the Sprachschule, or the language school, he was telling me more about Russia and everything. He showed me. where he was at inside of a book of history. I mean, his art was wow, wow. And so that's how I got to learn about the Anna Karina, and even in the German form before I even read it inside the English and everything. So all those things right there. I'm giving you all this right here because as I'm going over this right here, there's many reasons why people run into each other. Okay, and it's really like a reflection. It's not a collective. It's a collection as far as knowledge and information and everything, but it's like a reflection and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you could take it as a positive or a negative, or you could just say it is what it is, and if it applies to us, then we can take it and utilize it. If it doesn't apply to us, put it away. It might not apply to us. Put it away for somebody else to come around it up. But in a general sense, I don't think too many people can erase things. You know, uh, Even trauma we try to erase, right? So therefore, it's still there. So when we hear stuff and we come across different people, 6:22 on the clock. Wow, we those things stick. So, but some people will block them out and put them out with selective hearing, and so anyway, and listening to a lot of myself first and foremost and everything because I questioned myself, and I went down and I checked out a few things, and a lot of things was like check, 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 check. I was like, whoa, 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 this is trippy. You know what I'm saying? And to a positive, to a negative, because some things was good. They're pointing this way, some things are pointing that way, and everything. So we just leave it. It is what it is. I leave it until it comes back around again, and then he makes something to look in just a little bit deeper. And so that's what I did. That's pretty much what I did. And the most of it I had already knew. I just we already know everything. Okay, we just have to be helped and to be helped to being to help us remember. Okay, and you guys have helped me a lot. You guys have helped me a lot. And so, and that right there. Now, I was speaking even on Leo today. You know what I'm saying? And even that, reflection of light, reflection of light, and everything. And with light, even the tarot reader, you know what I'm saying? It was like just like the same thing with Linda. Same thing with really a lot of you. It's not, and whether it be positive or negative, it's what we make out of it and everything. You know what I'm saying? And how we view negative or how we view positive. Okay. And most importantly, you know, how we apply it, how we apply it, or even shield ourselves. We utilize it to apply it, or even shield ourselves from it. Like I just had these bags over this light and everything because I thought the cameras was up there. You know, but being seen anyway, so might as well take it off in order to go ahead and get the light right now. You know what I mean? So it is. We got to do what we got to do. All right. So in that essence right there, I'm going to continue on what I went down and covered. I'm pretty sure you just watched me here a little bit, and so I'm going to go ahead and give the oratory on it, and that is the breakdown or give you some definition to some words and everything, to where you'll see what I mean by like we think it's coincidence, but it's not. Okay, and we may shrug our shoulders and shrug our head and scratch our ass and say, well, like my niece Rosie, what am I supposed to? She said, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. It's up to each of us to go ahead and grasp whatever it is that comes out. If we're walking down the street and we hear a conversation and we don't even want to hear it, there was a reason why we heard that conversation. So that's up to us to see what what value, what is how do I benefit from that? Okay, that's up to us. And if you don't necessarily benefit from it, then hey, uh, maybe it wasn't meant for you to benefit from. You know. But this one right here, I think it will help people benefit a little bit, if not, a lot in certain areas. On at least on the even myself, from as learning more about myself in the essence of the my what do you call it, my government name of beer, right? But yet spell verre, which means a glass, okay? And in glass is with the multicolors and everything, which is in a general sense like that of Joseph, coat of many colors. Coat of many colors on also, believe it or not, it equals 216. Coat of many colors equals 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6, which the government's birthday was, I was born in the 6th month and the 66th year. So that's how it applied to me. You know what I'm saying? So in lieu of and really tacking on to the last early two today, other two today, hit 12:07 right now. And wow, it's 12:07 on the clock too. That was crazy. Okay, so it's after midnight. After midnight. That's crazy. I looked at both at the same time. 12:07, 12:07. Now it's 12:08. That's crazy. Anyways, what I was doing here was going over, mulling over what we spoke on today a little bit earlier, and I wanted to, I had did the work earlier, but I wanted to get a little bit more. I mean, I saw it, you know, took some snapshots here, there, and I wanted to let it sink in. You know, we gotta let it sink in sometimes. And so when we're addressing, like I mentioned a couple of people today, actually going straight to it, it was like, see, one thing that uh, the people I've run into, to include even that of cousin Jenny, cousin Jenny and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, every single body, autistic, mystic, everybody. It's been pretty fucking cool. Been pretty fucking cool. You know, it's we've shown light in many different areas where we may be deficient, maybe too strong, maybe uh, heady. Heady. I know I got a hard head sometimes too. Shit, I got a hard head too. You know what I'm saying? And can be a little snobby if that's the case. If that's how it's looked at, uh, rough on the edges, and then we have our days where we're smooth and everything, too. You know what I'm saying? How the flow and everything. So it's been really good, and so with that right there, I want to keep shedding some more light on you right now. All right, and again, it's a reflection even of myself because we actually have the same name inside, by definition, even the government name, and that's what kind of like got me there. And so yeah, I'll start there. So basically, and this runs pretty. pretty. It's a pretty penny. Let's put it like that. Okay, so like I said, I was born with the name Veer. Okay, but it's spelled Vere as in French, but they call me Veer. And so with that Veer, so is Light born with the same name of Veer also. Mine is French with Vere, and hers is of Latin, okay, and it's Vir, Virhan, right? Now French is a dead language. It's a dead language. You know, it was used to go ahead and unify. I mean, not French, but I'm sorry, Latin is a dead language. It was used to unify all of the Latin languages, okay, which is la, feminine, or al, tin, to go ahead and give us, as we're talking about our government names, to go ahead and give us our tax identification numbers. Okay, so that's Latin. All right, now in Spain, Spaniards went ahead and came on over here. This is what they're everything. You know, when we gave when they gave us a different name, like say for instance Toby. Okay, you know when they said Kunta Kinte, well that Kun was coming from fucking Kun, you know, inside the I Ching. Okay, and TA is that of Tab Aleph as opposed to Aleph Tab. So that's Kunta. Kin is Kin is the mountain in the I Ching. And Te again, you know, that is going to be what 25. So that is going to lead us to the earthly numbers and everything because the earthly numbers there's 25 numbers and of the heavenly numbers is 30, which gives us 55, which gives us that abundance. At the same time, gives us Santa and gives us Satan. Okay? And so what happens here, and I gave you that and everything just to simply show you what Veer and Beret, you know, Veer, both Veers, whether it be a French, Vere, and then again, that's pronounced Vere. But these are the triggers that had, you know, when we're going to know thyself and everything, this is what you might possibly run into. Okay, your name being pronounced over here this way and over there, tomato, and spelled just a little bit off over here. It's still the root, which is basically three-letter roots on there on most words. And then you got your suffix, your prefix, and your suffix and everything to go ahead and give it a possessiveness, a make it an action verb, adverb, you know, or you know, or verb, yeah, past participle, gerund, interrogative. You know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, yeah. So all parts of grammar and English and everything. This is how the placements of the letters go. And so Vir Han is the Han dynasty. So last name is Vir Han. My name is Vir Hebron or Vir Brown. Bron. Vir Han, Vir Bron. You see what I'm saying? Honestly, cheer me out. Okay, so hers is spelled with VIR. Okay, mine is spelled with two E's, two R's. All right. So she wrote a book called Sad Girl, you know, or poetry and so forth. And so she took on that name. She leaves us with that every single time. All right. Now, man, as we spoke on earlier, vir in Latin meaning man. Okay. Even a strong man, even a bravo, you know, even like a man of a man, so to speak. But we spoke on earlier today, and we flipped that and it was nam. It was nam, right? Actually, I didn't take a picture, but as soon as I left and everything, I went past a place that was called Nam San, and we were talking about Nas and San, the San people, okay? Nam San Dang, Dan, and I was talking about Dan because it was written out of the Revelation book of Revelation. So I saw a place, like I said, Nam San Dang, blew me away. It was too dark, so I didn't take the picture, but blew me freaking away. And we're just talking about it. So going into here, so in the Arabiya, or even in the Quran itself, and dealing with the surahs, okay, 99 of them, out of the 99, okay, um, 14 of them have acrostics. At the same time, Saad, Saad spelling, is the 14th letter. Okay. Now Saad in Hebrew actually means secret. It means mystery. It means to go ahead and have like a secret, uh, under religious aspects, have a secret, circle and everything. Okay. At the same time, it is also that of where we're at here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Of Genesis 25:29, where Jacob was getting ready to sell he sold his birthright. And Jacob was cooking some sod pottage. So it was a secret pottage, right? Now, over in Sindhi, which is a language, Sod is the 31st letter. Now, these different ones I'm getting ready to tell you right now, these are different languages. And we give you the numerical value to it and the meaning and everything. Okay? So, first of all, four, when we say 14, we're saying four first. The teen is after, so that's the 10 is after and everything. So, to begin with, four is Artaba. And we have four main giants also inside the scriptures and everything, Bible, to where uh, we're fighting, or they spoke on them anyway, okay? And this is also Artaba, okay? Artaba meaning four, like Arabia, okay? And Arabini, 40, okay? In Kiswahili, all right? So all that right there locks into there. Then in Turkish, Sad, SAD, if we go ahead and read it from right to left, it's going to be Das. And Das is Turkish for little girl. So this is Sad Girl is the name of her book. Right? Wow. Blew me away. So also in Arabia, Sabah, which means morning. Okay. Sagir is a falcon. And Salah is prayer. Basal is an onion. What does an onion make you do? Cry. Make you maybe think look like you maybe sad or something, but it make you cry and everything. You know what I mean? So at the same time, people again, we still on this 14. 14 is also Kenya's, not Kenya, but that of Tanzania's special number. Special number that is hooked to Tanzania in so many different ways, as Tanzania is the 14th. One of the ways is uh, uh, it was given like each of the states was given like a number. There's one article I had read across to where, but yeah, 14, and each of the states of Africa had a number assigned to it, and 14 was assigned to Tanzania, meaning the brain. And while we're in the body, again, back to we have 14 meridians inside the body here. Okay, if we were to go ahead and look at it as a doctor, or even study under it, molecule wise, we'll go ahead and use a telescope or a microscope, which has 14 pieces and everything to it. All right, two states to cover that. Remember, California was off. California was not together. Okay, they pushed it together. Who did that? Well, it's called the San Andreas fault. Okay, when they push it together, so San Andreas is Andy, which ends up being Anakin or Anunnaki. Okay, Anak, and so the Nephilim. Okay, Anakin, fallen one, push that together. So that whose fault is it? The San Andreas fault. That's who. These are the giants. Okay, and so it didn't have a heartbeat though. It was it had to go ahead to get connected. So what they did is they went ahead and named and I'm sorry, in 1859 Arizona, which was already attached, you know, became part of the Union. All right, on February 14th. There's the 14th again, right? Well, also on February 14th, the other heart, and actually this flag is actually the shape of a heart, even blue, and that is Oregon, which is actually the heart is really in Oregon, right? Kind of no brainer shit, huh? Pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the same time, we have one of the famous is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, February 14th. You know what I'm saying? So all those things, helps us to correlate and remember things, whether it be by fun or whether it be by tragedy, if it helps us to remember, as Genesis 1:26 says, male, I created male and female, and so that male and female, that word is zakar, which means to remember. And then that's the reason why we have the book Zachariah, because that means Yah remembers. So we are implored to remember. We are given a directive to remember, implied, remember. But we won't see it in English. We will only see it when we go ahead and dig a little bit deeper. Just look up the word in the original languages that they said they were written in. So that's up to y'all to do on that. So like I said, so the 14th acrostic letter in the Quran also. So these are the meanings going down here and from different languages and so forth. So Cubano, Saad, Saad, or Sad, Sod, okay, means to promise, vow, or pledge. It also means the word, okay, which is back in Hebrew, goes to Devar, which is connected to my name, Devir, or Devar. Now, Devir is actually the most holy of holies. Devar means the word. So the only difference inside of there is the numerical value of 10, because 206 equals Devar, okay? Or Dever, which means, you know, Devar is like word. Dever means like hail or, you know, not necessarily war, but it's a positive and a negative sense in both essences, depending on, the if we go ahead and utilize it, especially with the vowels that we have now, you know, uh, if we go ahead and utilize it with the vowels we have now, it will change, it'll be a yin yang basically, a positive and a negative and everything. Okay? So Devar is the root of Debir, and only the Yod changes that from 206 numerical value to 216 numerical value. All right? Now, the word means speech. Okay? And we keep on going down here, we got Nabatean, and so Sade, Sade, the singer. Smooth operator. Yeah, Sade is also that of Sad. Like light, which we're talking about. Okay? Sad girl. All right? It's also the 38th chapter of the Quran. The letter Sad is the 38th chapter of the Quran. The 18th letter of Abjad, all right, The 26th letter of the Baruns of the Burushaki alphabet, which is a Perso-Arabian plus Mandarin. All right, and when you look at the word Mandarin, we've got that word man again, or Nam. Dar, Daughters of the Republic, okay, Department of Redistribution, Department of Agrarian Redistribution or Agriculture Redistribution. You can go ahead and put it like that, right? And IN, okay, for that last part, which actually brings it to, if we look at it correctly, or just look at it, it's, the I is like a 1, and then N has a numerical value of what? 14. So that's 114 on that right there. That's 114 on there, which is actually 114 surahs. Okay? And yeah, 114 surahs. Yeah. Okay. So it's also connected to the 19th letter in Chinese of Zhao Erjing. All right. 17th letter of the Persian-Arabic alphabet, the 20th letter of the Punjab Sham, Shamuki script, and then 31st letter of Sindhi Abjad. Okay, so you know how Charlie, next one is going to be, you know how Charlie Brown has a W around his yellow shirt? Well, that's a Phoenician letter, and that letter is really Shin or fire. Okay, that's fire. So it has a bright sun, even though the black ring is going around. That's really fire going around Charlie Brown's yellow shirt. Okay. Now the W turns into an E, laying on his back, and that's in Russian. Okay. And then at the same time, it means fire. It means fire because in Hebrew, that same letter, just and the only thing that changes is a dot, is shin and sin. And sin, like Mount Sinai or sin, okay, which is fire, okay, which is fire, which is light, it goes back to being light and everything inside of it, you know. So in the world of Warcraft, uh, Saad, 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 is a circle of close friends, religious contacts, and esoteric, 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 reasons of coming together, you know. And what else we have here? Oh, and that's pretty much it. I wanted to go ahead and note one more. And so also when you and I'm gonna put them up there so you can see it for yourself. And that's not gonna tell you. I'm gonna put them up there so you can see it for yourself. So also Al Kai Yasala, Al Kai Yasali is good morning. Okay, and Al Kai is Khay, which AY is actually the I. Okay, Ya Sali. All right, it's good morning. Then you have Sele, okay, and which if you just interpolate the A and the E, is Selah. Okay, the musical connotation supposedly, you know, I think it's Haile Selassie and myself and everything. Selah, Selassie, Selassie, Haile Selassie, Selassie. You see what I'm saying? Selah, Selah V. Here we go. Okay, so where are we at here? Also, uh, inside of the New Testament, inside of John, when we're talking about light comes in there and is capitalized with the KJV 4 times. That word is nur, which correlates to that of the Arabia of Al Nur, number 93. Call the bolts of lightning, curse the day he let it go. It's along those, it's along those lines. I kid you not. Okay, and what else do we have here? Actually, that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. So I'm saying this like when we come together, when we come, meet different people, it is not by chance. It is not arbitrary. It is not arbitrary whatsoever. And whether it be good, bad, or ugly, we're supposed to go ahead and take something away from that. We're supposed to benefit from that. Okay? Whether it be good, bad, or ugly, we are to benefit from it, from every action or interaction that comes into our sphere or our range. Okay, so uh, yeah, don't rush to change for anybody. I would suggest this anyway, except for yourself, and then that's a slow rush, meaning like take your time, but make sure we push ourselves and everything at the same time because we don't want to be like the parable of the 10 virgins and shit. You know, when 5 of them did the work and pressed the oil out, and when it was time, they took on off. And then there was 5 of them that didn't do it, and they asked us to, can we borrow some of your oil? Can we borrow some of your oil? And we knew what we had to do, and we only had enough to go ahead and get there. So we couldn't; those 5 couldn't share with the other 5, you know. And so they had to go get on their boat, get on their ship. And so those 5, it didn't say what happened to them, but I'm pretty sure they just didn't make that trip because even if, they gave us that of the second coming and all that of Christ or 1,000 year reign. Excuse me. Yeah, 1,000 year reign. For everybody else to wake up. Then there must be some connotation to that. There must be some connotation to that, and it was along the. And it's not a banger right here. I'm just gonna tell it like it is, like they said, like I heard it. And that was from a lady over in Africa too. I forget her name right now. But she had recanted it, and as you heard it before many times and everything, is somebody is raining, flooding. It's flooding. You know, man is stuck on top of the house, and he said, he's praying and praying, praying, praying to Jesus, you know, and somebody said, "Come on, let's jump on here, jump on the boat, and everything." He said, "No, no, no." Then somebody came through with it was another like speed. It was a boat, a raft, and everything. Came up. Come on in, come on in. I said, "Okay, I gotta keep going. I gotta catch stay with the raft and everything." Same thing with the helicopter. So the helicopter says, "No, no." And all 3 times he said, "I'm waiting for Jesus." You know, and so when he got there, he went ahead and died because he was waiting. So when he got there, he said, "Why didn't you go ahead and I sent you three things." And that's that's what the lady had said. She said, well, in the same essence, she said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and go and take these people right here, and I guess you can go ahead and wait for Jesus. We'll be back to get you a little bit later then, okay? She wasn't cold to him to say, well, I guess she's just gonna wait for Jesus. No, no, no. We'll be back to get you a little bit later. So applying that to also to the parable of the 10 virgins, the five that did not have their oil. So, but whatever he had to go through, whatever those 5 virgins had to go through, it didn't press out their oil. They had to go through a lot more than what those who have done the work are doing, or as they will be taken up upon arrival. Whether it be in the mental, what I mean by that, it's a vibration too. It's a vibration. We got to, in order to go ahead, this 144 is more of a vibration. I personally believe myself too. So I would suggest that you go back, even research to know thyself. And honestly, if all these names, if people are in so much distress and you don't necessarily know how to change it, just like we know how to go ahead and uh, change frequencies, jump timelines, change your fucking name. Change your name and then choose what name you want to, what day you want. Change it. Just like everybody coming over here. They keep their, again, I spoke that earlier, they keep their name, their family name. When they come over here, the Chinese name, we hit say, hey, even Jet Li is really Het, okay? Het with J, okay? And so that's it's just with a J. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the eighth letter, and Lee is clinging fire. You know what I'm saying? But that's not his Chinese name. You know what I'm saying? So when we came over here, everybody who comes over changes their name. So you can go ahead and do that too. So if you find yourself struggling, you know, unless you like really repping, you know, whatever flag, you know, we know that the Han Dynasty, like in Veer Han, okay, the Han Dynasty is the most damn people on, they have the most people, percentage of people on the planet and everything, because of the intermarriages and so forth, actually to amass those numbers. But, and I do mean, but it says many are called, yet few are chosen. So just because we come in the size of numbers does not mean a damn thing. It does not mean a damn thing. Matter of fact, you want to be counted amongst those that are smaller, especially if you're doing the work. Okay? Especially if you're doing the work. And in general, only a small number of people are actually doing the work compared to the 8 billion people on the planet. Okay? Or is it? Yeah, 8 billion. 8 million. I gotta look that up. I gotta look million or billion. Anyways, that's all I got for you. I'm not gonna sit up here and long prolong that. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And even, like I was saying with the beard, and we have the same pronunciation of it. Beard, Latin is a dead language. Okay, the VIR. That's the reason. I remember a story I shared with you one time. It was actually a Japanese story to where her name was Rina, and she's in there. They said she changed her name because she was icky, so she changed it from an I to an E. Okay, and Rina, or Reina, is that of a queen in Espanol. You know what I'm saying? La Reina. So let us go ahead and I'm not gonna. claim that king title, or anything like that, it's gonna go ahead and be little old me. All right. And I encourage you to do and be you. All right. Even if you go ahead and change your name or whatever, and you can change your name. It's a whole different. I mean, look up under Echo names. If you do so, look up under Echo names so you see what has been depicted inside of this 3D world as far as your friendship, prosperity, family, and these whether it be like 4 or 5 stars, positive family, love, friendship, all those categories will give you all that echo names. All right. So with that right there, we'll go ahead and let you go because it is already. Ooh, if we take off that one, it's 12:40. It's 2:41, but it's 12:41 anyway. You guys take care, and thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay. All right. Ciao, ciao.